Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel World of Wrestling, here today to discuss about WWE Raw November 15, 2021 review. And, oh my god, I got one thing to say. This is going to be a full-on rant with a little bit of information about what happened on the show, giving you kind of an overall view of what took place. I got one thing to say. I'm going to say it right now. It should be illegal for this company to even have WWE Raw on national television. That's the truth. You got Bobby Lashley beating the shit out of Rey Mysterio in the main event. That's number one. Number two, they got a guy, Adam Pearce, worrying about a fucking brand that he's not really specifically managing and is turning into a heel. While Sonya Deville is doing the same, and yet he's trying to care about the other superstars she's being biased to, which he was doing earlier this month. I believe it was on a SmackDown show. She was kind of abusing her power, and he didn't approve of the idea of what she was doing, and they kind of went their separate ways instead of walking together and discussing business. So, and then you got Adam Pearce doing the same thing Sonya Deville was doing on SmackDown, he's doing on Monday Night Raw. I don't quite understand this. I think it's completely, utterly ridiculous. It's the most retarded thing I've ever seen in my life, and yet neither one of these two are sole managers or authorities on those brands. They're authorities on both brands. So why would they care which brand actually wins? It is utterly ridiculous. Two, you got a fucking pay-per-view Survivor Series. You'd think you'd have the entire Survivor Series card based on the fact who's getting the main event of WrestleMania. That should be the main goal and reward of which brand wins the most matches out of the Survivor Series pay-per-view. That should be the point. It should be taken as if like we were watching WWF versus WCW/ECW Alliance War in Survivor Series of 2001. If they took that kind of concept from that and applied it to a reward of WrestleMania, basically Survivor Series being the all-star of professional wrestling in WWE, that would be a reason to tune in, number one. Number two, you give your audience an idea of what to expect, what the main event is going to be of WrestleMania. And number three, the main point is to give us a reason to care and make the characters on the show seem like they have a reason to care about what they're doing on their brand that they just moved over to. See, a guy like JD from New York 206, he stated this, and I agree with him on this. If you're not going to have any, he states that you should have the draft after WrestleMania. I agree with that, unless you're going to have a reason to give these people a reason to fight for their brand, because if they fight for their brand, they win the brand supremacy. They win the Royal Rumble, they get the main event. They get to main event the WrestleMania pay-per-view and get their shot for a world title. That would make more sense than going ahead and having some bland... I mean, Survivor Series has really turned into that fucking bragging rights pay-per-view. I remember back in 2009, 2010, they had the bragging rights pay-per-view for 2 years in a row, and then they just stopped doing it altogether. Well, that's what this is. This is bragging rights. That's all Survivor Series has become. They might as well turn the name Survivor Series into bragging rights again and bring that back into the pay-per-view calendar. Because Survivor Series don't feel like Survivor Series. It don't feel like anything but a bunch of wasted out loads of shit just to give us, just an easy way of creative to get through the fucking month. I find that utterly ridiculous, because they could do that and still make the pay-per-view entertaining by giving us a reason to care by seeing the guys compete over something so they are rewarded for their hard work efforts. in those matches, but yet they don't do any of that. Now, I understand the show's, it's fixed, it's not a real legit thing, but if you're going to have these guys bust their ass for their so-called brand, at least reward them for their work that they did in the show. That's just my point here. But honestly, I don't see any point to any of this. I don't get the logic behind this Survivor Series gimmick anymore. There's really nothing going on. There's no interaction between brands all that much. There was some last night with Big E and the Usos, but other than that, I mean, let's get real here. Outside of 2 promos with Charlotte and Becky Lynch between SmackDown and Raw leading into the go-home shows into Survivor Series, what have we gotten as a build throughout the entire 4 weeks leading to this pay-per-view? After fucking Crown Jewel, we've got nothing from these 2 shows. Nothing. So why should we care? Why not just build the Survivor Series based on one match? You know, one fucking matchup. Hold on a sec. Based on one match, and it being the traditional Survivor Series 5-on-5 match, where the winner, you know, gets to main event WrestleMania, the brand gets to main event WrestleMania, and, you know, we have the rest of the show based on championships from each brand. Charlotte Flair maybe Charlotte Flair going up against fucking Becky Lynch in a unification match, if you really want to do that. I mean, I don't know, man. The whole show is just complete, utter boredom and makes no fucking sense. I'm so glad that I record these shows, because if I wasn't recording them and I had to watch them live just to give you guys a review, I wouldn't be able to do it. I don't know how anybody, and I mean anybody, can sit through 3 hours of this shit and not want to fall asleep. I know one person who did, and he's a fucking primetime YouTuber. His name's JD from New York 206. That motherfucker went ahead, watched Raw last night, he said in his review, and fell asleep during the point where Nikki Ash came out with fucking Rhea Ripley. What a fucking joke, man. I mean, come on. You're gonna bore your audience that badly, you're gonna make the poor guy fall asleep. He literally bashes the shit out of Monday Night Raw every single week. Not to blame him in any way, shape, or form. The show absolutely sucks. I think it's the worst thing on television, period. I think a reality TV show probably is better than this shit. Honestly. And the crowd, folks, the crowd, I swear, I think that the crowd, the fans, when they come into that arena, they take their brains and they remove it from their skulls and they give it to Vince McMahon or his higher-ups and give their brains to them, saying, you can't have brains when you come into the arena. You must put your brains here. Oh, okay, boss. Rip the fucking brains right out of the ear canal and shove it right in a bowl. And we'll give it back to you when you're done. I mean, like, literally, these people are sitting there, well, yeah, I'm having fun. What are you having fun from? You're wasting your money. Well, technically, if you really think about it, why would they do that? They probably don't have brains to begin with to remove. Why would you waste your money on fucking Monday Night Raw of all places? If you're going to waste your money, go to Dynamite. I mean, Rampage. Fucking anything but this. Even SmackDown, for that matter, I would probably say give your money for that. And that's a shit show in itself, but at least they got some kind of credibility of entertainment. But Monday Night Raw, my God, they have nothing on that show at all. It's whacked. But enough ranting. I mean, I've done almost 10 minutes of a cold open. So let's go right into what took place. Each segment and each match. Matches were terrible except for Kevin Owens and Finn Balor. Outside of that, the rest of the show is just... whatever, it's just fucking shit. Anyway, we had Big E show up. He really needs to get rid of that fucking attire he's got. All the New Day colors. Get your own fucking look. I mean, I had never seen... Has this guy ever showed up to do a promo without being in wrestling gear? Even sometimes when he's not even wrestling, he shows up in wrestling gear. Doesn't he show up in, like, some fucking jeans or, those workout pants and a fucking t-shirt or some shit? He comes in his fucking wrestling gear even when he's not wrestling sometimes. It's utterly ridiculous. I mean, shit, you're a big buffed up guy. Look like you just came from the fucking, the gym or something, I mean, I used to remember back in the day, Triple H would show up in fucking jeans and a tight t-shirt or some shit. Show up in that. I mean, come on, man. What the fuck? He also used to show up with the fucking black leather hat. I love that shit too. Back when in 2000, he used to wear that all the time. I thought that was a really nice look. And he had some really cool sunglasses and whatnot. I mean, guys back in the day, man, they knew how to dress to do a promo. These guys, they dress up in their fucking gosh darn wrestling attire, and it's just like, what the fuck, dude? But whatever, man. Big E, I mean, he did cut a good promo. He did really well with, showing his emotion towards Roman Reigns. He looks believable. I'll give them this. They've made Big E look believable to possibly beat Roman Reigns, but he's not going to beat him. I mean, he's taking Roman Reigns very seriously, which is good, but where has this been throughout the last 4 weeks since Crown Jewel? Crown Jewel ended on October 21st. We should have been getting build right after that. Immediately after the show was over, we should have had a build right on the first episode of SmackDown. Of course, we didn't. All we had was... The only bit of build we had with Roman Reigns and Big E is what Roman Reigns did to Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. That's it. That's the only fucking build we got. That's a joke. That's nothing. I mean, come on. Have Roman Reigns and the New Day have a war against the new... well, actually, they already did that. Hell, man, I don't even fucking know what the hell they do on Monday Night Raw. But yeah, I remember a couple of months ago they did something like that on Monday Night Raw. Another thing I want to mention, what happened to the fucking red ropes and the blue ropes? They got the white ropes on both shows. It feels like they're the same fucking show. The only thing is the lighting in the arena is different. One's red and the other's blue. Wow, that's real unique. Makes them real different. These shows are exactly the same now. Everything's the same. NXT, I wouldn't be surprised. That show's just a fucking bombshell of a crap hole to even watch. I couldn't imagine wasting 2 hours of my life watching NXT 2.0. And I don't even know why people are calling it 2.0. It's NXT. The only thing that's changed is the way it looks and the way it is presented. Other than that, the name hasn't changed. So why the fuck do they need the 2.0 added to it? It sounds ridiculous. What are they, fucking computer software program or something? I mean, like, what the fuck is this? Anyway, Big E's talking about Roman Reigns this and Roman Reigns that. And he talks about Owens and about what he did. He's also addressing Seth Rollins in this promo because he knows he has to defend his title at some point. Here's a really unique idea. Instead of Roman Reigns and Big E going at it at Survivor Series, we could have just gotten build between Seth Rollins and Big E for the WWE Championship. And here's something that's even better than that. We could have possibly added Kevin Owens to the mix in some logical way where we would have had a triple threat match, and we could call that a Survivor Series, and it links up to the actual gimmick of the pay-per-view. The champion trying to outlast both challengers and surviving by defending his title in a triple threat match. You know, that would have been neat. But no, we don't get that. Of course not. We don't get any of that. We just get some boring-ass, lazy, creative build towards a pay-per-view that means absolutely nothing. Terrific. Good for you. You want to be lazy? You want to be stupid? Hey, man, I already pay for Peacock. I watch other things on there, like 2.5 Men, King of Queens, stuff like that. I got lots of other things I can watch on there. Shit. Besides your professional wrestling. Besides, even the professional wrestling they got on Peacock is better than the modern day garbage. So I still have choices to choose from besides just WWE's modern day garbage at the end of the day. So if I don't want to watch your fucking pay-per-view, I don't have to. I got tons of other things to choose from on Peacock. Even if you had the WWE Network, you still would have tons of things to choose from with all the WWE old content they have. I mean, there's no possible way you can remember every fucking little thing that happened on these shows. There's something that will surprise you or entertain you in some capacity. If you don't believe me, you can go ask the several different people that made comments on my channel for the AEW Full Gear pay-per-view. I had several people talking to me about what shows they were watching on Peacock that is better than what WWE is doing now. They love the old stuff from even back in 2011, which was the beginning part of WWE's downfall, but again, they still were a lot better then than they are now. Holy fuck, it's like night and day between those two comparisons. But, I mean, there is so much content on the WWE portion of Peacock that you don't even need to watch modern day WWE garbage. I mean, you got the 80s, you got the 90s, you got the fucking early 2000s, which was great stuff. And the late 90s, and then you got WCW and ECW. You even got Indies professional wrestling on that fucking damn Peacock shit. You don't need to watch WWE's modern day garbage anyway. They are their own worst enemy. They give us the ability to watch stuff that's better than what they're showing now, and yet they refuse to better themselves. I find that completely illogical and really retarded. But whatever. So anyway, Owens comes out. He talks about getting some stuff off of his chest. He constantly was trying last week to convince Big E or show him that he did not intend to have Seth Rollins interfere in their match the week before. And he said, look, man, no matter what I say, no matter what I do, you're going to think that I'm the bad guy and I'm just lying to you. So I might as well just start being the bad guy, because trying to be the good guy, and everybody loves you. The guys in the back and the people in the stands want to judge me and say I'm the bad guy. I'm trying to turn over a new leaf and you don't want to believe me? Fine, then I'll be the bad guy. And he said, to hell with everybody else who thinks I'm the bad guy. And I'll just be one. I liked it. I liked what Kevin Owens had there. I think it was unique. But at the same time, why isn't he playing an anti-hero? A Stone Cold Steve Austin mentality. That's the way I see Kevin Owens. He's a guy that has a Stone Cold Steve Austin mentality. Blue-collar worker, busts his ass, but doesn't care what other people's opinions are. He just does what he's got to do and get the job done. And if the fans cheer for him, great. If they don't, oh well, who cares? But that's the way Kevin Owens' character should be. He should be a guy that is just a nasty son of a bitch, but doesn't need to cheat to win. He wins because he's a hard worker. He wins because he has integrity, but he doesn't care about other people's opinions. He does it his way, the way he knows is the right way to go. And that's the way Kevin Owens should be. Kevin Owens from Ring of Honor, if you ever watched any of his stuff from back then, he had that mentality. He was a good guy. He was liked by people. And he can play the bad guy role very well, but his role as a good guy would work better if he stopped walking around trying to impress everyone. Let the people come to him and cheer for him. And actually, the fans were cheering for him in the beginning when he entered the arena when his music hit. And then they started booing him just a little bit after when the music stopped. So I really found that to be very weird. Actually, very awkward and demented, but hey, you know, that's WWE for you and its fans. So, I don't know, man. Makes no sense to me. But anyway, he really lost his temper, and he explained why, because of the fact that Big E got in his way, and he suffered his third loss in a row to Seth Rollins back the week before, when he finally snapped. So, that was that. I went over everything else and discussed stuff. But then out of nowhere, the Usos showed up. And they beat the shit out of Big E. And then Matt Riddle came in to save his ass. Then after that, Sonya Deville comes in and says, we're going to do things a little bit different. We're going to do things on the fly. Really? You're going to do things on the fly? I don't know about that. I think that's what WWE's main operation runs on the fly. There's no doubt about it. It's a fucking joke. So Big E and Riddle went up against, Matt Riddle went up against the Usos, and this was a joke. This match it wasn't even a match. It ended up being a disqualification. Big E, Seth Rollins got in the middle of this. Seth Rollins was dressed in wrestling attire, which they basically gave that away that was going to take place and he was going to wrestle. After the interference, Randy Orton showed up to save the day. He RKO'd Jey Uso, and they restarted the match and made it Big E and RK Bro versus the Usos and Seth Rollins. This was an utter joke. And Seth Rollins got the pinfall, roll-up pin to Matt Riddle. He elbowed him in the back of the head and several times and then rolled him up for the 1-2-3. And that's how the match ended. Big fucking whoop. That was a boring-ass match. I barely was paying attention to that. I was actually watching this while I was working today. I didn't have to work on the phones, so I decided I was going to watch this and see how it turned out. In worst case scenario, I could actually pay more attention to my work than worrying about what Monday Night Raw was actually doing, and just let it go and have it as background noise. And that's what most of it was, just background noise with no purpose or reason to be on. I mean, that's utterly ridiculous, man. But that's how everything went down. Seth Rollins got the win, like I just said. We go backstage with Bianca Belair. Goes off on Doudrop because Doudrop banged up Belair during her Fatal 4-Way #1 Contenders match. Belair says she doesn't want to take anything away from Doudrop, but she's all up in Belair's business. Tamina walks in and says tonight Belair is her business. Belair tells Tamina that she was hoping for Doudrop, but Tamina will do. We also get backstage with Finn Balor finds Owens. And I want to address something. They actually had a graphic underneath Finn Balor's name, or underneath Finn Balor, that stated his name. Why would anyone need a graphic that says Finn Balor to help them know who the fuck Finn Balor is? You gotta be an idiot or a first-time watcher to know what the fuck you're watching and who is what. That was utterly ridiculous. I mean, that was weird. I did not understand that worth a damn. Really fucking bizarro shit. But backstage, Finn Balor finds Owens. Balor tells Owens he would have told Owens to his face last week that he doesn't trust him, and tonight Balor and Owens will go one-on-one. Owens tells Balor that he's sorry for Balor's luck tonight, and that's no lie. Alright. Big whoop. Bianca Belair versus Tamina. Bianca Belair wins this match. Very worthless matchup. I do not give a flying fuck about these two. And I don't really care, man. It is really ridiculous. We also had an in-ring segment with Becky Lynch doing her promo on Charlotte Flair. She cuts a pretty decent promo. I mean, some people think that her promos suck. I'm actually not in the majority. I'm in the minority, I guess, depending on how people look at it. But I don't particularly think that this promo was bad. I think it was decent. She was a little over the top in some cases during this promo. I would admit that. But as, cutting the promo solid throughout, I really did not have any issues with it. Liv Morgan, she did a good job too. She was brought up about the situation that when Becky Lynch left about a year or so ago, that she believed that Liv Morgan would have became women's champion at some point when she got back. Unfortunately, that did not take place. Liv Morgan thinks it would be poetic justice that she would actually win the title against the person who said she would become women's champion when she got back, which I think is actually kind of a cool idea and concept that they could go with. I think it would help the image of Becky Lynch towards the fans a lot in their belief on what Becky Lynch's true intentions are being in WWE. Is she this selfish person, or is she trying to use her name to help build bigger stars? Now, granted, if you're going ahead and you're having Liv Morgan beat Becky Lynch, but Bianca Belair couldn't beat Becky Lynch, that doesn't say much about Bianca Belair. It really doesn't. I can't believe that they put themselves in this kind of corner. And honestly, I don't agree with it. I don't think that they made the right decision. I think Bianca Belair should have won the Raw Women's Championship to face Charlotte Flair at Survivor Series, and Charlotte Flair would lose to Bianca Belair for her to achieve the quadruple victories over the 4 horsewomen. I think that would have been an awesome story to tell with Bianca Belair. She just hit a bump road in her career as the champ, and she happened to lose to Becky Lynch over a cheap shot, and she recovered and got back the title. You get knocked down, you get back up kind of concept. Would have worked in this situation, but they didn't do that at all. And I mentioned this, I think it was 2 weeks ago this matchup took place, and I stated that I believe full-heartedly Bianca Belair should have won that Raw Women's Championship. So that's just how I feel on that. Liv Morgan winning this title would be impressive. I think it would be very entertaining. I would entertain that idea, but do I believe she's going to win? No, I don't. I think it would be a good story to tell. I think it would certainly surprise a lot of people if Liv Morgan beat Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship and became the new champ. I don't think anybody's expecting her to win this match at all. Whenever this match takes place, that is. I don't even know when the fuck it's taking place. It probably won't even take place on pay-per-view. It'll be on Monday Night Raw, more than likely. And I don't figure that she's going to win that title. Even if you were to have this match on Monday Night Raw, I wouldn't have her win the title there. If you're going to have her win the title, you put it on fucking pay-per-view. You don't have it on fucking Monday Night Raw. Like, who the fuck's watching it lately? I checked out the ratings for Chucky, the Chucky TV series, compared to what Raw's ratings are. They've been averaging between 2 to 3 million viewers. Their very first episode averaged 4.4 million views on October 12th. That was last month. Last month, they averaged 4.4 million viewers on the first episode. After that, they've kind of dwindled down to 2 to 3 million viewers. But my God, they are still doing better than Monday Night Raw. And SmackDown, for that matter. That's pretty pathetic. Really pathetic. Street Profits went up against the Alpha Academy, and the Alpha Academy won this match, not by an actual maneuver. He wins the match by a Ford trying to do a dive, but is countered and rolled up and tightened, held down. Hold on a second. I'm actually incorrect. Ford rolls through a splash by Gable into a pin for the win. Excuse me, I apologize. I misread that. And I did watch the match, but I didn't particularly pay attention. If you thought I did, you can't blame me. I couldn't. I mean, these two teams have faced each other on SmackDown countless occasions. So what the fuck do I care to watch something that's now on a different show? Who gives a fuck? Nikki Ash went up against Queen Zelina Vega. What a joke match that was. Zelina Vega won that match. Really, 50-50 booking WWE, you had to go that route? What a fucking joke this company is. Rhea Ripley ends up beating Carmella. This makes Nikki Cross the weak link in their tag team, so kudos to them for fucking her up and making her 10 times worse than she already is. Backstage, we have Adam Pearce tells Big E to stay away from the Owens-Baylor match. If Big E doesn't believe Pearce, just remember what Pearce did to Brock Lesnar. So apparently if he was to get involved, he would go ahead and suspend him for a period of time and strip him of the WWE Championship, I guess. What a joke. Me personally, I wouldn't give a flying fuck what Kevin Owens is doing. I care more about beating Roman Reigns, who's been on an unstoppable winning streak, outside that one cockamamie disqualification ending on SmackDown this past week, past Friday night. Outside of that, he's been on a humongous winning streak. Nobody's beaten him in a year. Officially pinned him 1, 2, 3, that is. Finn Balor and Kevin Owens was next. Finn Balor had a partial entrance. It was kind of interfered with commercials. What a fucking joke. But anyway, Kevin Owens gets his first victory on Monday Night Raw and hits the stunner for the 1, 2, 3. And that's how that match ended. It was an okay and decent match. Probably the only match on there that was worth watching. The rest of it was meaningless garbage. One after another. Meaningless shit. Omos and AJ Styles face the Dirty Dogs. Ooh, wow, that was really entertaining. Styles wins the match with a phenomenal forearm for the win. No big deal there. That's to be expected. They are shit anyway. Bobby Lashley went up against Rey Mysterio. And Bobby Lashley, like I stated earlier in this video, won the match and purely dominated Rey Mysterio. That's your show in a nutshell, guys. I mean, there was nothing really all that entertaining on this card or this pay-per-view. This show, I'm sure the pay-per-view ain't going to be any entertaining than this either. I think Survivor Series is probably going to be the worst it's ever been in history. Personally, there's not one damn thing on this show that I gave a flying fuck about. I think this whole entire company in a nutshell is just boring as shit. Really, there's nothing to this company that could even convince me this is worthy enough to watch. And the only reason why I review this stuff, like I've said before, is the fact that you guys tune in, you really want to hear what I have to say about WWE programming. As much as I dislike it, I am going to try my best to upload these videos to get and reach out to you guys as much as possible and then get more fans and more subscribers to the channel so we can make this channel better. I noticed a little bit of, a little bit more interaction with you guys, especially with that AEW full gear pay-per-view, which I am extremely happy about. A lot of people tuned in to watch that review. I haven't gotten that many views on a lot of AEW content since that, so I'm extremely ecstatic, and thank you very much, guys, for tuning into that video. And I know for a fact you guys will tune into this WWE Raw episode. Of course, if you haven't, you wouldn't know what the fuck I've been saying this whole time. But anyway, I really appreciate all of you that have been tuning in, watching the videos, taking an interest in what I have to say, hearing my opinions and facts that I've been pointing out to you guys. Because truth of the matter is, I haven't been just stating opinions. I've been stating facts to you guys. It is no doubt in anyone's mind this show is a complete disaster. And how this company is still running is beyond me, number one. And number two, how anyone is investing in this company is beyond me. I don't understand anyone in their right mind. If I was a businessman, I would not invest in WWE. I wouldn't. I wouldn't have nothing to do with WWE. I wouldn't want my name associated with that company. Not one single bit. You got Snickers, you got fucking all kinds of freaking sponsors wanting to be part of the pay their money towards WWE. Like, folks, if you haven't been paying attention to the ratings, people are not really tuning into the show. So why would you want to be sponsored? You know, go ahead and sponsor WWE so that people would actually see your product or see your brand name and get people interested in doing stuff with you. You're not going to get that many people because they just keep losing fans more and more. Now, back in the day, you know, early 2010, 2011, around that time, I could understand people wanting to invest. They had 3 million fucking viewers a week tuning in every single week. They had 3 million views every single week. SmackDown had 2 million views every single week. I could understand that. But WWE Raw is not even hitting a 2. That's pathetic. SmackDown is doing better than WWE Raw. That's sad. Really is sad. This company is fucking shit. That's all I have to say. I know I've gone probably about almost 40 minutes. So anyway, at this time, guys, you know what to do. Hit the like button if you like this video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. And leave a comment down below. I'll definitely get back to you on that. And I thank you guys very much for watching. Have a great night, guys. Bye.